Hi there, this is Linda Eanes, the 4-H agent in Cumberland County, and I am really excited about today's activity. We're going to be joined by Lynn Nelson in just a few minutes. She is going to teach us how to make old-timey comfort food. We're going to learn how to make apple hand pies.
I'm Lynn, and I'm going to teach you how to make some apple hand pies. This has been passed down from generations to generations, and most of the people in Cumberland County that come from my era or before, which we won't go into how long that is, but they grew up having their grandmother and mother in the kitchen fixing apple hand pies on wood heated kitchen stoves at that time. So your ingredients at the moment that we need are some apples. We have Red Delicious today. We have 5 nice sized Red Delicious apples, and we're gonna cut them. So you'll want to peel them first. I don't use an apple peeler. It's annoying for me, but others might prefer it. So we're just gonna cut this off. And growing up, we used to make a game about seeing who can keep their peel connected. So once you get your peel off, we're gonna just take a larger knife. Let me move this out of the way for y'all. Can you see? Totally peel. And what I do is I just take a larger knife and I slice it in half. And then I section it just like if you were doing regular apple slices. It makes it so much easier to just go ahead and just cut your center piece out, the hard part, or your at the center of your apple. And what we're going to do is we're going to slice it up. So I'm going to just do this. We're just going to slice it in bite-sized pieces. You're going to do each and every apple that way. Remove that. And our next part is we are going to cook these. When we go to cook these, we're going to use a 3/4 cup of sugar and 1/4 cup of water. And since we're doing only 5 apples and not the whole bag, and we are going to cook it on medium-high heat, and you'll have to stir it frequently, and we will get back to you on that next step. Thank you. And so I'm going to show you how to prepare your pastry dough, or your shell as it would be. So we took 3 cups of flour and we put in a mixing bowl. Please make sure to remember to wash your hands really good. Make sure your hair is pulled back so you won't find hair in your food. We have 3 cups of flour. You don't have to sift it. We are using all-purpose flour. So, and we're gonna take a stick of butter. This is salted butter. Didn't have salted butter. If it was just no salt added to it, plain butter, you want to put a teaspoon of salt into your flour, and it will help bring out the taste of the butter as you cook this. So later on, so we're going to add a stick of butter, and we're going to take our trusty little table knife and just kind of chop it up a little bit and put it in there. And this is going to be a little messy because this is the old-fashioned way, folks, but bear with me. See, we used to get in trouble for playing in our food. And this she won't get in trouble to do. Alright, so what I like to do is I'm going to wipe my hands off really fast with my towel, clean towel. Alright, so you're going to pour a little flour on your hand. Okay, rub it on your hand, and this is going to help it so it's not as sticky. You're going to work, we're going to work the butter, and what you're going to do is you're going to work it until it is, I don't know, almost like breadcrumbs. If you were making an apple brown Betty or a brown sugar topping on a pie or something. So we want it crumbly. And yeah, it takes a minute, but the results are really great. Just keep working at it and working at it and working at it. Okay. Once, right now, see, it still is not a crumbly consistency, so we're just gonna play in it. Now you can take a fork, voila, fork, and you can mash it, but I think it takes the fun away because you get to play in your food doing this. And not just that, but I think this makes it a little bit finer. We are just going to keep working it and working it, and it is getting a really good powdery kind of breadcrumb consistency. So you need to just check it thoroughly, and there we go. So I'm going to show this to you. So you see how it just, it's like really fine breadcrumbs, or like cornmeal almost. I have a cup, exactly. I'm so used to doing this. So what I like to do is I bird nest it. So I'm just going to pour maybe a third of my cup of water in there. And at this point, I'm going to bird nest it. And just keep stirring it around. Like moving it around with your hands. Once that runs out, just add a little bit more. And the reason we're adding a little bit at a time is you don't want your dough to be so sticky it's unworkable. I mean, if it does happen where it does get sticky, you can add flour to it later on. But we just kind of want to work it through. And then, of course, when it does stick to your fingers, which it will, just slide it down. That's why I say wash your hands good before you start. So, let me sit back now. We're going to keep working, and it's still needing a little bit of water. So far we've used about 3/4 of a cup, and I honestly think this will do it for this. At least I'm hoping. So let's see. And the good thing about this is pretty much a universal like dough. So you can make all kinds of stuff with this dough. You can make ravioli with it. You can actually make noodles. So I think I might have to add a little bit more water after all. So we probably will be using the whole cup, folks. There we go. And we just kind of want to fold it in. Alrighty. It's a little mushy now, but it'll be alright. We've got to work it on the inside. Alright. And remember to wipe your fingers down. And so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to sprinkle a little bit of plain flour on our mat. Now I have a really nice mat that you can roll, make cookies on and all that, so we're going to use that. And we're going to sprinkle a little flour into our dough that we made. And we're just going to massage it one more time, and it just kind of get it off of the bowl and roll it. So you're going to have a bundle like this. And so take your hand, your flour that's on your mat, and what you're going to do is you're going to pull up on your dough, and you're just going to pop it like you're making a biscuit. See that little piece of dough? So we don't need all that, but about a little ball in your hand. So what I do is I just set it down, take a little flour, put over it so it won't stick when your rolling pin hits it. So then you're going to roll, roll, roll gently, because you're going to have to come from each side. And I try to make my crust, my shell, a little bit thinner probably than most people. This was how I was taught, because you have butter in this shell, and what the butter does is it will cause pockets when you do cook it. It'll cause pockets, so you have little air pockets, and it makes it like have the best crunchy effect. So you get more bang for your buck if you make it a little bit thinner. So this is a little odd, but if you can see, it's not completely round, but we are going to fix that in a minute. So I am going to move that out the way. So over here are our done beautiful apples, and we're going to take a spoonful and we're just going to lay them out there. So I did do the dough a little bit bigger, but it's okay, folks, because I'm going to show you how you get rid of that excess in a minute. So we're going to fold. Can you see the apples? We're going to fold it over in water. Here's our water, and what we're going to do, just take your finger and run halfway around the sides of it, flip, kind of pat it. We're going to take our fork, and we're just going to press down, and the water that you put on there, what it does is it kind of acts like an adhesive. It helps to seal your pastry dough. So you can see how big that is, and it's kind of ugly. So we're just going to cut it off and make it a little bit prettier. And the reason I'm not using a knife is because I don't want my sheet to get cut up underneath, because I use it for everything. So we'll just remove the excess, and this is what your dough is going to look like. And we'll be back to you as soon as we make a whole bunch of these to get fried. What we've done is we whipped up 9 of our hand pies. And so we have oil, which is use the whole, this is a small bottle. It's a 16 fluid ounce. We probably use just slightly over 8 ounces, maybe 9 ounces, something like that. So we put it in our pan. it's gotten hot. I've already tested. What you do to test it, you just take a little piece of your dough that's left over, a little tiny piece, toss it in there when you think it's hot enough, and see if it sizzles. If it sizzles, it's ready. You can go ahead and start cooking. So we're just going to grab a hand pie, and I don't like to lay it down because I don't like splashback. So just put it on your utensil, and we can do a couple at a time in this, and you'll see it. You want to cook it on one side. Now, I'm new to cooking it in this type of stove top, but we will see how that does, and we're going to let that cook on one side. What we're going to do is when they get done on this side, we're going to flip them over, and we're going to lay them on paper towels to let the oil drain from them, because nobody likes greasy food. Oh, ain't that pretty? See the one side, guys? So we are gonna let it cook on the opposite side. Oh, that's pretty. These were almost too big for the oil I put in there. I don't think I put quite enough because I made my hand pies a little bit bigger than I normally would at home. So when your hand pie cooks on both sides, look at that nice golden color. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? So we're just going to pull them out, and I'm going to pop some more in here. And remember what I said, please do not add barehanded. Put it on your spatula, your spoon, your whatever. You can cook these in a fry daddy, folks. That's how easy they are. We're just going to go ahead and add a third one because we got room. Let's get this done. Let me wipe that off. All right, hear that? Sizzle, sizzle. All right, so look how pretty that is. So we have two different types of toppings, and I'm going to show you how to do both. We do brown sugar and cinnamon. It doesn't matter how much cinnamon you use. I like a lot of cinnamon. There's a lot of cinnamon in this. So I just mix it up with sugar, and I just take my hand pie, and it's very hot. If you're a kid, you may not want to do that. And you just roll it. Look at that. And you smell it. It smells delicious. So that's for that. I have a sieve, and I have a mixing bowl. This is confectioner's sugar. It doesn't matter how much you put in there. You're not dipping it. You're just going to sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. Sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. Look at that, folks. Isn't that beautiful? And that's all there is to it. And we're going to finish this up, and I thank y'all for spending this time with me.
I hope that you enjoyed our cooking demonstration with Miss Lynn. And I bet that these handmade apple pies are going to be delicious. And I hope that you enjoy them. Bon appetit. You're going to enjoy these.